everyone, it's Heather Legge here again, and I'm excited to share a kind of a twofer, if you will, two sort of techniques rolled into one best practice that you've undoubtedly heard of before. Most of our most revered, successful, wealthy people that we look up to in our culture have cited some variation of this as a best practice for them in terms of being the most effective in their work. And so we talk about with time management, we talk about efficiencies, but if we're not effective, then doing things quickly doesn't really matter. So it's about being effective and efficient. So I'm excited to share this with you. There are so many different versions of this story, but I'm going to share the one that my mentor shared with me at the beginning of my coaching journey about 10 years ago. So the story goes something like this. A wealthy industrialist, roughly, let's say 100 years ago, hired a specialist, or we might call him a management consultant these days, to come in to his company and have a look at his managers and tell him, what can we do to be more productive and more effective? And so he followed the managers around for a day, and he came back and he said, okay, I know exactly what it's going to be. I'm not sure if you're going to appreciate what it is I'm going to tell you, but I promise if you try it, have them do it every day for a month, and then I'll come back and you can pay me whatever you think it's worth, which is pretty incredible, right? So he said, all right, that's a deal. What is it? Every day, have your managers plan the following workday. At the end of today's workday, they'll plan the next workday, and they'll write a list of 6 or less things that must be done to be the most effective in their work. And you may have heard 7, and frankly, it doesn't matter. Pick one, 6 or 7, but the more we can hone down to the critical, drilling down to the core critical elements is better. So the fewer the better. Here's the thing, it's not 16, it's not 60, it's not the 600 things that are flying around in your head. So my advice to you for that is to have a running list of all the stuff that you'd like to do, and then each day just take those few critical actions and add them to your list. You don't have to have 6, you can have 1. And it's not stuff like brush teeth. You know, maybe those of you with elementary age kids, for a while, that might be something that's on their daily list, but it's probably not on your list anymore because you've already figured it out. You've already got that one under control. So I think you catch my drift. Effective for results. What are the things that you really need to be doing? And then he said, so that, that's it. A list of 6 or less things, critical work to be done the following day. Follow the list. But here's the second part. The right things, okay, we talked about that a little bit, in the right order. So some of you feel like your day is just chaos. After you start work, you just feel so much hope every morning. You get into the office, you're like, woo, it's a great day, I'm fired up, I'm caffeinated, I'm ready to go. And within 35 minutes, all hell has broken loose and you're just pissed off. So you have to learn how to take control. So hopefully, that might be an extreme example, but oh, I've seen it. I've also experienced it in former lifetimes, so to speak. So you got to take control, and you need to know which of the things on my list are going to be the most critical for me to get done, and start with that one. And the best thing to do is to not dive into the email or all the other stuff until the most important work is done for the day. But that's a little bit of a separate best practice on top of this already amazing but simple advice that the management specialist gave to the wealthy industrialist 100-ish years ago. It still works. So he came back after about a month, and the owner said, wow, thank you. I can't thank you enough. You showed us how to actually do something we already knew we should be doing. And he paid him what was then an exorbitant amount of money, which is pretty fantastic, because he'd already seen the results. So if you've never tried this before, I urge you strongly to start doing it today. Try it for 30 days. See what difference it makes. So again, it's a list of 6 or less things that you need to do your next work day that are critical for being your most effective and creating results. And so those are the right things. And to do them in the right order. Magic, pure magic. It's so amazing. If most of you probably have heard of this, you have tried it, maybe you've been using it for years and this is just validation. Yes, I'm awesome. Some of you have tried it and it worked really well, and then you got out of the habit. So here's a great opportunity to pick it back up again and kick some ass. So I hope you've enjoyed this little refresher on the list of 6 and right squared. Enjoy the results.